There's a conversation happening in millions of American households right now. A 28-year-old tech worker in Austin is scrolling through Zillow at 11 p.m. They're making $85,000 a year. They have $50,000 in savings, and they're asking themselves, should I finally buy a house, or should I keep renting and investing the difference? Everyone has an opinion. Your parents say buy. Financial TikTok says rent and invest. Your real estate agent says act now. And in the middle of all this noise, you're paralyzed. So today, we're not going to tell you what to do. We're going to show you the actual financial consequences of both choices over 30 years. Let's dig in. Meet Sarah. She's 32 years old. Software engineer in Denver, Colorado. Annual salary, $95,000. She's been renting a 2-bedroom apartment for the past 4 years. Current rent, $1,600 per month. She has $80,000 saved up. She's been thinking about buying for years, but every time she considers it, she overthinks it. There are millions of Americans in exactly her position. Good income, some savings, uncertainty about what to do next. So today we're going to follow Sarah's decision. What happens if she buys? What happens if she rents and invests? And we're going to track the actual numbers because theory is great, but numbers don't lie. Scenario 1, Sarah decides to rent. She values flexibility. Her tech company has been having layoffs. And frankly, she doesn't like the idea of being locked into a 30-year mortgage. So she stays in her $1,600 apartment and commits to investing the difference. Her monthly breakdown. Rent, $1,600. Renter's insurance, $20. Total housing cost, $1,620 per month. If she had bought a $400,000 home with her $80,000 down. Mortgage payment at 6.5% over 30 years, $2,031. Property taxes, $170. Homeowner's insurance, $140. HOA, $120. Maintenance budget, $330. Total housing cost, $2,791 per month. So the difference is $1,171 per month. Here's what Sarah does with that spread. She takes $1,200 per month and invests it into an S&P 500 index fund at 8.5% annual returns. She also invests her $80,000 that she didn't spend on a down payment. Let's see what happens. Year 5. Total invested, $166,400. Portfolio value, approximately $251,000. She's paid $97,200 in rent. Net wealth, $153,800. Year 10. Total invested, $238,400. Portfolio value, approximately $544,000. She's paid $194,400 in total rent. Net wealth, $349,600 in liquid investments. Year 20. Total invested, $382,400. Portfolio value, approximately $1,487,000. She's paid $388,800 in total rent. Net wealth, $1,098,200. Year 30. Portfolio value, approximately $3,891,000. She's paid $583,200 in total rent. Net wealth, $3,307,800 in liquid, accessible investments. But there's a problem. The rent increases. Let's say 3% annually. By year 10, her rent is $2,149 per month instead of $1,600. By year 20, it's $2,886 per month. By year 30, it's $3,875 per month. So her investment number decreases over time. But even accounting for 3% annual rent increases, her liquid net worth at year 30 is still approximately $2.1 million. The key advantages of renting for Sarah. Flexibility. If a job opportunity comes up, she moves. No $30,000 real estate agent fee. No 6-month selling process. Liquidity. She has $2.1 million in a brokerage account. If there's an emergency, she can access it. Simplicity, no maintenance calls. No surprise roof repairs. But here's what the renting scenario requires. Sarah has to actually invest that money, not spend it. For 30 years. Most people can't do this. They get scared during market downturns. They let lifestyle creep consume the savings. If Sarah does any of these things, the advantage of renting disappears. So the real question is Sarah disciplined enough? Scenario 2, Sarah decides to buy. She finds a nice 2-bedroom home in Denver for $400,000. She puts her $80,000 down, which is 20% down payment. She finances the remaining $320,000 with a 30-year mortgage at 6.5% interest. Year 1 total housing cost. Closing costs up front, $10,000. Monthly mortgage payment, $2,031. Property taxes, $170 per month. Homeowner's insurance, $140 per month. HOA, $120 per month. Maintenance reserve, $333 per month. Total year 1, $45,528. Compare that to Sarah's renting cost of $1,620 per month or $19,440 per year. Sarah the buyer is spending $26,088 more per year in year 1. But here's the crucial difference. Every dollar Sarah paid is going toward building equity. Every dollar the renter paid disappears. Let's look at Sarah's equity position. After year 1, home value, $400,000. Mortgage balance, $319,581. Equity, $80,419. But here's the depressing part. Out of $24,372 in mortgage payments, only $419 went toward owning the home. The rest went to interest. Let's fast forward. Year 5. Home value at 3% annual appreciation, $463,500. Mortgage balance, $309,000. Equity, $154,500. Total spent on housing, $227,640. Year 10. Home value, $537,000. Mortgage balance, $291,000. Equity, $246,000. Total spent on housing, approximately $280,000. Year 20. Home value, $718,000. Mortgage balance, $219,000. Equity, $499,000. Total spent on housing, approximately $620,000. Year 30. Home value, $963,000. Mortgage balance, $0 fully paid off. Equity, $963,000. Total spent on housing, approximately $1,050,000. The shift happens around year 15 to 18. By year 30, Sarah the buyer has a home worth $963,000 and zero mortgage. But here's the critical thing about illiquidity. To access that $963,000, she has to sell. That means paying 5 to 6% in real estate agent commission, $48,000 to $57,000, plus capital gains tax, plus closing costs. So her $963,000 asset is really more like $900,000 by the time she can actually access it. Let's compare the two scenarios at year 30. Sarah the renter, total spent on housing, $583,200. Investment portfolio value, $2,100,000. Completely liquid. Can access anytime. Sarah the buyer, total spent on housing, $1,050,000. Home value, $963,000, effectively $900,000 after selling costs. Completely illiquid. Requires 60 days minimum to access. On pure wealth accumulation, the renter who actually invested did better. But there's more to this than just the money. Here's what the pure numbers don't show you. The true cost of buying. When Sarah buys, she's making a life commitment. If she got that California job offer in year 2, she can't easily take it. She can sell in a down market and lose money. She can try to rent it out. or she can turn down the opportunity. That opportunity cost isn't captured in the spreadsheet, but it's real. The true cost of maintenance. Sarah budgeted $333 per month for maintenance. That sounds reasonable until the water heater breaks, $2,000. The AC needs replacement, $8,000, and the roof starts leaking, $15,000. Suddenly, she's $25,000 in the hole in year 7. A renter? Calls the landlord. Problem solved. The psychological burden of a mortgage. Sarah is now on the hook for $320,000. If she loses her job, the bank doesn't care. She still owes the payment. For 30 years, Sarah has a sword hanging over her head. But here's what the pure numbers also don't show you about buying. The leverage effect. This is the most underrated aspect of homeownership. Sarah put down $80,000. That $80,000 is earning returns on a $400,000 asset. Her money is working 5x harder than a renter's. If the house appreciates 3% per year, that's $12,000 in appreciation. On an $80,000 investment, that's a 15% annual return just from leverage. A renter can't get that kind of return without taking significant risk. The fixed cost in an inflationary world. Sarah's mortgage payment is $2,031 today. In 30 years, it will still be $2,031. But the money will be worth much less due to inflation. By year 30, $2,031 will feel like $400 in today's dollars. Meanwhile, her rent would have grown to $3,875 per month in nominal terms. This is the quiet mechanism that makes buying attractive over time. The forced savings mechanism. A mortgage forces you to save. Every month, Sarah pays $2,031. Eventually more and more goes to principal. By year 30, she's forced to have built $963,000 in home equity. A renter has to choose to save. And most people don't. The renter scenario assumes Sarah invests $1,200 per month for 30 years. But life happens. Car breaks down, $500 gone from the investment budget. New relationship, lifestyle creep kicks in. Market drops 30%, panic selling. Baby is born, priorities change. The homeowner's savings is automatic. The renter's savings is voluntary. And voluntary savings is hard. So here's the real comparison. If Sarah is disciplined and can stick to investing, renting wins by a massive margin. $2.1 million versus $900,000. If Sarah is like most humans and gets distracted, buying wins because it forces the savings. Which one is Sarah? That's the actual question. The break-even point is typically 5 to 7 years. By year 7, the buyer's leverage really starts to show. Home appreciation plus principal paydown plus fixed costs feeling cheaper due to inflation equals buyer advantage. So here's the rule. Staying less than 5 years? Rent. Staying 5 to 10 years? It's close. Depends on your discipline as an investor. Staying 10 plus years? Buying usually wins due to leverage and appreciation. Staying 20 plus years? Buying almost always wins. Sarah is 32. If she buys, she's probably staying in that home until she's at least 40 to 45. That's 8 to 13 years. That favors buying. But if she's the kind of person who changes careers or relocates for opportunities, renting might still be better. The question isn't which is objectively better. The question is, how long is Sarah staying? That's the most important variable, and it's completely personal. Here's my framework for Sarah. Step 1. How long are you staying? Less than 5 years. Rent. 10 plus years? Usually buying makes sense. Step 2. What's your personality type? Are you disciplined with investing? Rent and invest might win. Do you need external structure and forced savings? Buying might win. Step 3. Can you handle the stress of a mortgage? Can you sleep at night with $320,000 in debt? Or does debt stress you out? Step 4. Do you need flexibility? Do you need to relocate for opportunities? Or are you content staying in one place? For Sarah specifically, she's disciplined. She has $80,000 saved. She's 32, probably staying 8 to 13 years. She has good income and can handle mortgage stress. My recommendation for Sarah, Buy the home, but with conditions. Keep your investment account active. Still invest $500 to $800 per month if possible. Don't buy the maximum you're approved for. Buy something comfortable. Build a 6-month emergency fund separately. Make sure the home is in a location you genuinely enjoy. Plan to stay at least 7 to 10 years. If Sarah follows this plan, she'll build wealth through homeownership while staying somewhat flexible. But this recommendation is specific to Sarah's situation. If she was 26 instead of 32, I'd say rent. If she was making $60,000 instead of $95,000, I'd say rent. If she was working at a startup that might fail, I'd say rent. The decision is deeply personal. Here's the real trap. Making a $300,000 to $400,000 decision based on a monthly number without understanding the 30-year consequences. The people who end up wealthy aren't the ones who guess. They're the ones who run the numbers, who understand their own situation, who make decisions based on data, not emotions. So run the numbers for your situation. Ask yourself the hard questions. Make a decision you can live with. If this helped, hit like and subscribe. And drop a comment. Are you leaning toward renting or buying? What's the biggest factor holding you back? Thanks for watching.